If you have been following AnkhTech for a while, you must have realized that we have been releasing something called an AnkhTech WinPE. It's something similar to Seiren's boot and Seiren NHV boot and MC boot VN. But what makes AnkhTech WinPE one of the best alternatives? In this video, I will show you what makes it unique, and I will also unveil for the first time the secret behind AnkhTech WinPE. I will be leaving the link of the website down below so you can check it out. AnkhTech WinPE looks like this. It is very similar to Seiren. As I said, it is very similar to Seiren's boot, Seiren, NHV boot, ANHDV boot, and MC boot. They all fall in the same category. So let me show you why AnkhTech WinPE is one of the best alternatives out there. Even though it has appeared only about a year ago, and all other alternatives are way much older than AnkhTech WinPE. The first reason, it is very well organized. Why is this important? So if you take a look, all the programs are organized in different categories. Let's say for an example, I want to take a backup of my operating system. I will be booting up from a flash drive and I will straight away go to backup and restore. I don't need to think for a while where I'm going to go or which program I'm going to use. Of course, it will be backup and restore. So organizing the programs in different categories makes it easier to use. So for an example, if I want to recover a deleted file, I will go straight away to data recovery. It's just very simple, very easy, just like that. All I need to know is how to use the programs in this category, and I will be ready to go, and I will be able to recover my deleted files. It's just as easy as that. If I got a problem with my disk, I need to repartition, I need to check for errors, I will be going straight away to disk check fix. So organizing the programs in different categories makes it very easy to use. A lot of alternatives in each category. If you look closely in each category, you will find a huge amount of programs that does the same job. Why is that so important? Let's say for example, you tried one of the programs and it didn't work. It didn't give you enough results the way you wanted. So you will try all alternatives. For an example, my disk health, I will be checking with Crystal Disk Info. If it didn't work, I will go with Hard Disk Sentinel. If it didn't work, I will go with G Smart Control. I will keep going and going and going until I get the results I want. So having different alternatives guarantees that you will be able to fix the problem you have and finish the job you want to do. That's why having a lot of alternatives is the best way to go. Also, one other reason, not all users know how to use each program. They know how to use at least one program. If they didn't find the program they're looking for, they don't use my WinPE. That's why it contains different alternatives. 3. Very basic user-friendly interface. That's a little hard to explain. If you look at AnkhTech WinPE, you will realize it looks like a normal Windows, like the browser, File Explorer, everything is organized in a way that looks like normal Windows. Of course, it's not, but it looks like that. If you ask anyone which is easier to use, a WinPE or a normal Microsoft Windows, of course the answer will be a normal Microsoft Windows. So making the WinPE looks like a normal Microsoft Windows makes it easier to use. Also, it even contains the normal system accessories like normal Microsoft Windows, like MS Paint, calculator, and so on like that. It even has some options in the control panel. Also, if you have some files on your PC, you will realize that most of the files already have programs installed to open them. So Ultra ISO opens the ISO files, Office files gets opened by SoftMaker, and so on with all the other extensions, even videos and music files. You will also realize that these programs are already installed in the system. While this is a WinPE, it also contains uninstalled programs. Of course, this has been done by so many different ways, but it works. Having all these programs installed to open all extensions makes the system way much easier to use, so you can get access to your files and open them very easily. It also contains Wi-Fi drivers. These drivers gets installed after booting up. There is a big chance, like 90%, that you will boot up and find your Wi-Fi already working, which would make it easier to access the internet from the system and find the solution to your problems or call a friend. Number 4, different sized boots. When you boot up, you see that you have 3 options. Each option is the double size of the one below it. So if the first one is 2 gigabytes, the next one is 1 gigabyte, and the third is half a gigabyte. Why is this important? The first one contains all the programs and supports everything. The second one contains most of the programs. The difference is like this. The second one boots faster and works on less RAM. Just in case you have a very old machine, PC or laptop that has very less RAM, you would have a chance. If you boot up the second one, you will see that it contains most of the programs and works similar to the first choice. So it contains most of the programs and looks very similar to the first choice, but it uses less RAM, makes it very ideal, boots faster, and works on older machines. Number 5, overall size. If you look at the ISO size, you will see that it is 3 gigabytes. When you compare the size to all the features and the programs you get and the drivers, you will find out that it is a small size. Also, if you look at the compressed file, you will see that it is actually smaller than the size of the ISO file. How is this possible? You can't compress an already compressed file. All the programs inside the ISO is actually compressed. So how do you compress an already compressed ISO file? I will tell you that after a while. So overall, it's a size of 3 gigabytes that contains a huge amount of programs and 3 operating systems, which you get to choose from. And also it contains enough drivers for these operating systems. The secret behind AnkhTech WinPE. So there is actually a secret why it is smaller in size and contains more programs and considered one of the best alternatives. So the first secret is the 3 boots are on the same Windows version. Why this made a big difference? For an example, in Seiren Sterling it has a Windows 10, Windows 11 and Windows 8 operating systems. In AnkhTech there is only Windows 10. Seiren Sterling needs more drivers for each of this operating system. So he needs drivers for Windows 10 and drivers for Windows 11 and drivers for Windows 8. I only need drivers for only one of these operating systems because I only need one type of drivers that would work on Windows 10, which means I need less amount of drivers. He needs to collect a lot of drivers for each of his operating system. He needs for Windows 11, Windows 10 and Windows 8. So his overall size will be more. So that means less needed drivers. Also, the compression has been done because the 3 operating systems are all on the same Windows version. So if I extract the ISO, I will find out that each of these operating system is actually contains the same files. So the files inside the tiny boot is the same files inside the mini boot and the same files inside the full boot. So when I compress the ISO, all the duplicated files will be removed, which means the overall compressed file will be less size than the ISO file. That is the secret why the compressed file is actually less in size. So less compressed file size. The reason number 3, he needs programs for his 32-bit operating systems, which means he needs to have 2 versions of each program. A version that would work on 32-bit operating system, which is Windows 8, and another version that would work on 64, which means more overall size. I don't need to have 2 versions. I only have 64-bit operating systems. So I only need 1 version of each program that would work on the 3 boots without any problem, which means less size, less versions of each program. So because they are all on the same Windows version, I get to add less of everything. Secret number 2, trimming each program. So I did something that is experimental. I deleted a lot of files from each of these programs. What I did, I just removed all the files I can remove from each program and the program still works. So each of these programs I have deleted files from them to decrease the size of each program so I can add more and more programs without increasing the size, the overall size of the ISO file. So I did something like deploting each program before I add it. The secret number 3 is I check all other alternatives. So what I did that I checked all other alternatives like Surge Sterling, NHV Boot, MC Boot, VN, and all of the popular names. I checked them to see all the programs that people use. If I can add all the programs that the users are looking for, I will be able to create a WinPE that is so versatile that everyone will be using. Because what I realized that each user is looking for one program he uses. If he didn't find the program he's looking for, he might not use the WinPE that I made. So I made sure to add all the most popular names of the programs and make sure most used programs are added, and I still add more based on users' suggestion. No 32-bit boots, no legacy options. Most of the popular names have already added 32-bit boots to support 32-bit machines. I haven't added any boot that would support 32-bit old machines. Why is that? If I did add 32-bit operating system, I would need drivers and programs for them, and that would increase the overall size. Also, after 3 or 4 years, all these older machines will be already dead. So what I did look forward for what is going to happen after 3 or 4 years. By doing that, I did already lost the advantage of supporting all machines, but I did gain some other advantage, as I said, overall size and the ability to add more programs and less time and effort needed, and to provide much more quality in each of these 64-bit operating systems. Also, it doesn't have any legacy options. The legacy options are like HDD regenerator and memtest. These options only appear on the legacy machines. It doesn't appear on UEFI. I didn't add any of these programs because it wouldn't appear on UEFI machines, which is the newer machines. So this is Surge Sterling on BIOS or legacy machines. It will show up these options, but on UEFI or EFI machines, it will not show these options. So I didn't add these options because it would increase the overall size, and in the same time it will not appear on all machines. So it's only usable on the legacy old machines. And I did lose the advantage of this, but in the same time I gain the advantage of less size. So by following these 4 secrets, I managed to control the size and keep it low, and in the same time have the ability to add more programs and more drivers to make it more easier to use and more versatile. And that's why AnkhTech WinPE is one of the best alternatives out there. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoy using AnkhTech WinPE, and I hope it is very useful for you and help you to fix a lot of your problems. And I will see you in the next video.